So there's a black queen on TikTok. I know she has a name which sounds very Egyptian, like an Egyptian goddess. And I've been listening to her, and her content is very thought-provoking and tells you how our spirituality, we are actually connected to the real God in our blackness and our geographical location. And once you see that, and then you start connecting. Now, my favorite topic to speak about is alcohol, because the last 10 years we've seen a sheer disconnect. We've seen a clear contradiction where the president is a functional alcoholic, goes to make public pronouncements when he's under the influence, and then his people exhibit some indifference to the same thing that he's addicted to. So it got me thinking. This thing has really got me thinking, man. I've never thought about anything to this extent. But then, you start identifying people's narcissistic disorders, and when you read, you see that the narcissists and psychopaths, they are actually they end up being some of the top businessmen, politicians in the world. If you read about psychopaths, I think one of these Sunday Nation psychiatrists has written that, and so I've been wondering, before the white man came to Kenya, people were still drinking alcohol or engaging in alcohol one way or another. The Kikuyus, we have Muratina. If you go to the Coastarians, they have Mnazi. If you go to Western region, Luya, they have Busa. And you go to Kisumu, there was one time I took my boy for a Rorashio in Kisumu, and they served us changa, made in their own kitchen, without very sophisticated machinery. Just simple science, and it was lit, which shows you that even before these Muzungus packaged their own version of science and chemistry, we were doing it here in Africa, and we underestimate the wealth of our own wisdom because of being bombarded with a lot of foreign content and being mentally colonized, which is why Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And it got me thinking, have you ever tasted a counterfeit liquor? Have you ever tasted a counterfeit liquor without your knowledge, but you knew the next day? You knew the next day because of the hangover. You have a hangover for 2 days because it's a counterfeit. So they skipped one process. However, when you are drinking that thing, when you are drinking that JD, that Jamie, that what, you didn't know it's a counterfeit. That's how good, that's the level of skill that is with our people in Kariobangi Light Industries. Those guys are skilled. But what we do is we develop some indifference to them, and we project them as criminals because they are doing... The only reason they do that is because the entry barriers to creating their own brands are so heavy. The licensing requirements, the licensing regime. You'll see people telling you, ease of doing business in Kenya, we want to do that. Man, we've been hearing that narrative from Dr. Mukisa Kitui since 2003. Today, somebody was telling me to open a restaurant or a hotel, you need 18 licenses. 18! Now, if a small restaurant will get you all of that. Can you imagine now if you are to open your own brand? And so, or brand of alcohol. There are so many entry barriers. And all these are designed to frustrate business. And who creates all these entry barriers? These people of the license and everywhere, all those offices, they all, after every couple of months, they go for seminars. These seminars are funded by who? Sometimes World Bank, sometimes IMF, because they want to come and entrench. After they finish colonizing us and taking our land, now they have neo-colonialistic business practices where they want to suppress domestic investors, and then they create the opportunity for their own products so that we can become a net importer instead of becoming an exporter. So it's weird. I was looking at a few stats, and I don't mind if we can share them. Scotland, where all of you drink Scotch whiskey. You rich people pretend there that the world or the sun shines up your ass. The Scotch whiskey. I met another guy saying, I don't drink anything under 18 because I don't do children. I don't drink anything under 18. You know, you're priding yourself in drinking a foreign product, and you are using that as a metric for people to respect you. Come on, grow up, guys, man. Stop this white colonialism which has infected your brains. And so Scotland is home to over 130 active malt and grain distilleries. I've attached, because all you just need is to Google. Just Google that question on your own. You go to the UK. The UK is home to 820 active gin distilleries. In Germany, there are 5,000 brands of beer. Germany alone, one country. I haven't spoken about Europe. We haven't gone to Netherlands, the home of Heineken and all those places. I've just focused on Germany. 5,000 brands. You wake up today, you feel like making alcohol. Making beer is not rocket science. You just go to your kitchen, mix water and yeast. You put in a container, blah, 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 bas, and then you carbonate it. People, when they come to your house, they're supposed to be drinking beer that you've made yourself, which is what the white people do. So Mexico, I thought of seeking out a developing country, not one of those first world countries. So Mexico is a home of tequila. You guys like tequila, you have shots. Yeah, you are boosting the Mexican economy. And let me give you the numbers. The numbers are immense. Mexico earned 52 billion pesos. 52 billion pesos in 2021 from the export of tequila. Now, 52 billion pesos, when you convert it, it's $2.6 billion. $2.6 billion. That's close to 300 billion Kenya shillings. Those are jobs in the Mexican economy. That's money. That's foreign exchange. Us, we are just importing everything. We are importing even underwear. We're importing towels from Egypt. And we are happy. Anyway, so here is the contradiction with Uhuru. I don't know, Uhuru was just a walking, talking contradiction. Anytime you see him, he says one thing and does the exact opposite. So Uhuru hosted the CEO of Diageo in State House. He has never hosted our local brewers and distilleries. There were small brewers and distilleries. Then there were the Tier 2. There was Keroshe, there was Humphrey Karaoke. He was now using state agencies to go and destroy those companies. In fact, after he met the CEO of Diageo, then he summoned Central Kenya MPs and gave them orders. I don't want to see illicit alcohol. They used they framed the narrative that illicit alcohol was ruining the youth. And the MPs went and started raiding companies that were distilling alcohol and making there were small breweries. They started raiding the Keroshes and Humphrey Karaokes. All the MPs spearheaded that. And they were doing it in their own constituencies, denying their own constituents employment. That's how much self-hate has been imprinted to us by the colonialists. So Uhuru can meet the CEO of Diageo. You can see him there with you saw him there with Aden Kenan. No, is it Aden who? This CS, Aden Mohammed, the CS of industrialization, and his fake British accent. Them, they only served European and foreign interests. Because what we just need to do is to get all these Chang'an guys, we get all these people of Kariobangi Light, we bring them together, we start taking them on seminars about safety, hygiene, and then we remove the entry barriers. We have these guys making proper drinks, proper safe drinks, no hangovers, and then we start exporting them to our regional countries. Now, we are boosting Tanzanian economy, the Tanzanian economy, by drinking konyagi. Konyagi is a Tanzanian drink, and we are boosting them. We are the ones who should be dominating these people. We are the ones who should be exporting these things, even exporting it abroad. I mean, our coffee is consumed in the top capitals of the world. The same can go to any other product. So we should be exporting. I mean, Nigerians are now exporting their music, and it's the most favorite now. Everyone likes it very much. So let's recalibrate our thinking. Let's overhaul everything that we've learned. And our duty is to unlearn all the harmful thinking that was inherited from the past generation. and that was packaged as wisdom.